Welcome back to another Bellator fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting some of the main card fights for Bellator 223, Mousasi versus Lovato Jr. So without further ado, let's get into our first fight on the main card that I'll be predicting. So in our first fight, we have in the featherweight division, James Gallagher versus Jeremiah Laviano. So looking at this fight, I think that really kind of given Gallagher a step back as he was like stopped in his last fight. I think he a 145, and he dropped down to 135 and got stopped. So whatever the case is, James Gallagher was looking like a hot prospect. He lost, and I think this is kind of a fight where it's not necessarily giving him an easy fight, but it's giving him a stylistic matchup that will favor him heavily and get him back on a winning streak, and save his brand, save his whatever, it will save his image, and get him back on a winning streak, get his confidence back, and continue his growth. So in this fight, looking at Laviano, he has some decent striking. I think only advantage he really has on him is power in his punch, like pure power. But as far as striking wise, James Gallagher is a cleaner striker. He has his right style striking a bit, like darting in and darting out. Stuff's much more cleaner than Laviano. He's more accurate, more sharp. Like I said, accurate, better shot. I don't know, maybe pure volume. Laviano might be better slightly about pure volume. But when you're more accurate and you're doing just about the same amount of strikes, that's really in your advantage. Better at the range, better at the control, better at the angling. Grappling better with the takedowns, and then transitions on the ground. He's just one of the best transitioners in the sport right now on the ground. And once he gets you down, he's very, very dangerous. I think, and also was Laviano's last loss, not his last fight, but last loss, he lost Noah Lahat, gave up a couple takedowns, really struggled to get off his back. And that's going to be really good for Gallagher, because Gallagher's going to be able to use that, take him down, be able to control him. And Gallagher's much better at, like I said, transitioning, getting control, set him submissions than Noah Lahat. Lahat might be better at wrestling and maybe pure taking you down and holding you down, but overall, Gallagher is just better at ground and pound from those positions, better at, like I said, transitioning, better at setting up submissions. And I think from those same positions, he's going to deal much more damage than Lahat did. Pass his guard, better get to the mount, attack, set up submissions, maybe get Laviano to give up his back. I think eventually he sinks in that rear naked choke. And I think it happens in the second round. So in this fight, I got James Gallagher via second round submission. Now on to our co-main event, we have in the welterweight division, Paul Daley versus Eric Silva. So looking at this fight, you got two dangerous strikers. Paul Daley with his striking with kickboxing style, semi-boxing, like a mixture of those two. Eric Silva was kind of like, I don't know, yeah, almost like a karate style, Muay Thai mixture type of style, kind of off the walls a little bit. Very powerful kicks, very explosive, very unorthodox. So you got two exciting strikers going against each other. Two fighters with some of the best highlight reels in all of the sports history going against one another. You look at striking wise, Paul Daley would most likely win the fight. You could say what they both are best known for, their striking and being explosive and creating highlight reels. In that fight, Paul Daley will win that fight because Paul Daley is just a tougher fighter. I can't think of a fight ever where he would just purely stop off strikes outside of the Nick Diaz fight, and he has a very durable chin. Neither of them really had the most phenomenal cardio, but at least Paul Daley is durable. And I think his cardio is better than Eric Silva, because Eric Silva has shown to fade, whether it be first, like as early as the first round, he's faded. And not even a whole rack of volume being thrown both ways, just from his own volume or somebody's pressure. So Paul Daley, I say, give him the better cardio. I say striking wise, he definitely has like better cardio, more durable. I think he's more accurate with his punches, and that's going to be a very dangerous point, because especially when Eric Silva's throwing kicks without setting them up, he can be caught with that right hand, maybe doing like what's called empty leg kick or something, or empty body kick. He might be caught with that right hand drop, and he's chinny. If you get caught by Paul Daley's power, he might just get put out, and this could happen at any point in the fight. But with Eric Silva, you got to realize that Eric Silva is the more well-rounded fighter. He has like a black belt in judo, somewhat probably a black belt in BJJ. I'm not even gonna look it up. I know he has belt in BJJ. Definitely like a black belt in judo. So he's skilled, highly skilled in the grappling aspects. With Paul Daley, his grappling has been improving, but really it's been mostly the same his whole career. Decent defensively, okay offensively, but if he fights a good wrestler or grappler, they could lay on him for like the whole fight, and he pretty much will be stuck to his back. And Eric Silva can take it there. I worry about Eric Silva's cardio in this fight and pushing that pace and maybe getting drawn into a firefight. But Eric Silva can always lean on that grappling, whether it be on top or bottom, getting a sweep, and just like controlling Paul Daley in this fight. And I don't think Eric Silva will be good enough to submit him. I think Paul Daley, even though he might not be the best at grappling, he's at least good enough to defend submissions and hold his own there. But he has issues getting off his back. And I think Eric Silva is going to be, it's going to be a firefight. It's going to be some rocking, some dropping, more so on Eric Silva's side, getting dropped and rocked. He might hurt Paul Daley with like a body kick here and there, but Paul Daley is a tough fighter. He's going to grit through it. Probably not going to act like he even filled it and just keep coming through, trying to land big shots. But with Eric Silva, I think his grappling, his takedowns, his control, that's going to really be his path to victory. That's what's going to allow him to win. The control on the ground, the takedowns, and win himself a decision. So I'm going to leave Eric Silva with his grappling in this fight to at least do the right thing. And he has done the right thing. He has mixed it up. I've seen him in some of his last fights in UFC where he's fighting a guy where he's getting hurt on the feet. He's mixed it up and goes to the ground. And we've seen in other fights, even this last fight where he fought a solid grappler, solid wrestler, he was able to, I think he took him down like maybe once. And that had some decent control in that fight. So if he could do that to a solid grappler wrestler like that, he could definitely do it to Daley. And I think that's what he's going to do in this fight. Some exciting fireworks on feet, but when he feels his fight slipping away on that path, he will definitely mix it up with the grappling. But in this fight, I'm going to go with Eric Silva via decision. So again, Eric Silva via decision. Now to our main event, we have in the middleweight division a title fight. The current champion, Gallagher Mousasi, the middleweight champion, versus Rafael Lovato Jr. So Lovato Jr. been on a tear, and looking at this fight even before it happened, I was saying like these two matchups, like Roy McDonald versus Gracie and Mousasi versus Lovato Jr. It seemed like not mirror matches, but it's like similar matchups. You got like a well-experienced MMA fighter that's been doing this game for like pretty much the whole adult life and some of their youthful life, so a long time, and had like long careers even though they're still in their early 30s. Like these feel like 20-year careers even though they're only in their early 30s. So well-rounded, so technical, versus a fighter has years in the grappling game, like BJJ, and they're coming over and they got pretty much undefeated with 9-0, was Lehman Gertz like 8-0 or something like that. Pretty much kind of similar paths to how they got here versus similar opponents, or similar opponents versus similar title challenges, but whatever case, that's besides the point. But look at this fight, I think it kind of plays out similar to the McDonald versus Gracie fight. Yes, Lovato Jr. is so dangerous on the ground. And another thing about Lovato Jr. you can't sleep on is the fact that along this winning streak, he's beaten several solid wrestlers, from Gerald Harris to Chris Honeycutt. These aren't no slouches. These aren't just your average run-of-the-mill wrestlers. These are some high-level wrestlers. And Gerald Harris has some power with him, too. He has some striking, too. And even Honeycutt has some decent striking with him, too. So it's not like he was just fighting cans or anything. He was fighting some solid fighters, some solid wrestlers. And he was able to get the best of them in the grappling aspect. And even that other guy he fought, his last opponent, I forget his name, but that guy's grappling solid grappler, and he was able to just show that he's John Salter, he was able to show that I'm in a different league of grappling. It's a different levels to this, and I'm a world champion at it. So it's definitely dangerous. But with Gallagher Mousasi, kind of similar to like the Roy McDonald thing, and probably even worse because he destroyed Roy McDonald, is that Mousasi has solid grappling, offensively, defensively. And just as Lovato Jr. has been improving his wrestling, so has Mousasi. You've seen in his couple of fights, especially like the Shevchenko fight where he was taking him down at will. Even Rock taking him down to throw him down. So he's been working on his wrestling for years, and now it's showing. So defensively and in the Chris Weidman fight as well. Chris Weidman was a high-level wrestler. He was defending some of Weidman takedown. He was getting some reversals, always active off his back. Because in the past, Mousasi would be less active in his guard. He might hold his guard and then just punch you from the bottom. And he starts seeing him hitting more sweeps and stuff. So he's getting more comfortable dealing with wrestlers, dealing with grapplers. So he's only gotten better over these years. That's offensively, defensively. Then look at him versus Lovato Jr. I think the striking is just on a whole different tier. It's like when MMA, when it's a high-level fight, you go to who has the biggest advantage in one area. And Mousasi has that huge advantage in MMA experience, that huge advantage in striking. Whereas grappling, Mousasi can neutralize Lovato's grappling and be defensively sound, but Lovato Jr. really doesn't have an answer for Mousasi striking. And Mousasi, it's not like Mousasi's going to be scared to be an offensive on the top of Lovato Jr. He just really doesn't want to be underneath him. So who's to say that Mousasi won't take him down and try to beat him up in his guard? And like Mousasi's jab is, I think, going to be maybe the biggest point in this fight. And that's really one of the biggest points in all of Mousasi's fight is that jab, because the jab in all combat sports, that's like the measuring stick. That controls everything. That starts everything, that ends everything, controls your range. He might move his feet too much, but that jab, he constantly pumping that jab out there at so many different angles and mixing it up so well. I think that's really going to be to tell his fight. He's going to be keeping him at the end of his jab, mixing it up, not really allowing Lovato to really get underneath him too many times, or really not get a solid shot where he can get real control, like this blast under him, get him down and flat on his back. It's going to be like when he gets on him, Mousasi's already gonna be setting up his defense. Mousasi's already gonna be responding to it before he even gets in there because he's gonna be already had to get past or get under Mousasi jab, and then in the clinch, if he even gets to the clinch, try to smother the cage. Mousasi has good underhooks, can switch the position, and he also been working on that judo for a while too. So he's really good in that position, that upper body. He's real good in those positions. That a lot of positions that Lovato Jr. is going to be looking for his safety or his path to victory. And Mousasi's good in those areas, whereas areas that Mousasi's strong everywhere. Where Mousasi has areas that he's strong, that Lovato Jr. with only 9-0 in the UFC and with like 35 hasn't really had the experience and really doesn't have the time to make those significant improvements. I think Mousasi just tags him up. I think Lovato Jr. will get some takedowns here and there. Well, maybe I'd give him like one takedown in this fight, one takedown. But I think Mousasi responds to that very well. Defend himself either to the bell or was able to reverse and get back to his feet, or like reverse and get the top position. But most of this fight, I think, plays on the feet with behind Mousasi jab, just tagging him up, then throwing a straight behind it or mixing to the body, pressure him down. I think, and also Lovato Jr. hasn't been in the championship rounds. He's only had 9 fights. And I think Mousasi just breaks him down over the course of this fight. And once he's taken to the championship rounds, Lovato Jr. is going to be worn out. Never been in those rounds, and never took a beating like he's going to take in this fight. It's gonna be competitive early, but when it gets to that 3rd and 4th round, those like it transfers from the 3-round fight to a 4th round, the champion round. And that 4th round, I think Mousasi stops him. Like the wear and tear is gonna be there heavy, and Mousasi's gonna be heavy with that pressure. He's gonna start picking up the power, picking up the pace, and Lovato Jr. is gonna fade. So I got Mousasi stopping him early in the 4th round. So in this fight, I have Gallagher Mousasi via 4th round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for some of the main card fights for Bellator 223, Mousasi versus Lovato Jr. And as always, thanks for watching.